Explain yourself, Faber. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. That's 2 consecutive weeks in a row. It's going well. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, Abby, the last video we watched, you bragged about getting rid of 75 books, titled it Massive Book on Haul, and made it a massive deal. And now you've titled this video, Massive Book Haul. You're thinking, Abby, where's the logic? It's a special occasion. It is a special reason why I've got lots of books, and a very exciting reason at that. And that reason is that I've very been kindly sent the entire long list for the Women's Prize for Fiction 2023. Now, if you don't know me, you won't know how much I adore Women's Prize for Fiction. I think it's a fantastic organisation. I absolutely adore everything about it, and I'm so happy and thankful that I've been sent the long list, and not to mention so many amazing books that I now own. Technically, you could see the previous unhaul as a way to make space for the Women's Prize long list. And yes, I am wearing a Daisy Jones on the 6 top. Yes, it has become my entire personality, and no, I won't shut up about it, so don't even try. I absolutely cannot like things in moderation. Also, if at any point my camera goes out of focus like it did for the majority of my previous video, I am sorry. I am a complete novice. I aim to get better and learn. Anyway, let's get into it. I thought it would be fun, exciting, to go through the long list with you and show you what books are on there, give you a little bit of a brief description. Side note to that, I am possibly the worst person ever at giving summaries of books, even if I've got a blurb. So you're gonna have to bear with me, but I think just seeing the book, seeing the pretty covers, and maybe giving my predictions what book I think is gonna win. Not that I'm gonna get that right. This year I am gonna try and read every book on the long list. Even saying that sounds unrealistic, but I really want to do it because as I said, biggest Women's Prize for Fiction fan right here. The box is very heavy. There's a lot of pages. I'll show you. Here are the goods. Without further ado, let's get into the Women's Prize 2023 long list. Guys, this is like the 4th time I've opened the box and I'm still brimming with excitement. I cannot believe I have this. I cannot. First book on the long list is... I don't even know. I'll be honest, because this is the case for most books on the list, but I haven't actually heard of a lot of them before they were announced on the long list. But I am very taken by the cover of this book. I am very impressed. The first book I've picked up is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. Just looked, and this book actually has a 4.5-star average on Goodreads, which is absolutely absurd. That is insanely good. That's almost unheard of. I believe this book is loosely inspired, or is inspired, by Dickens' David Copperfield, which I guess you can kind of tell from the name of the book. But I've just read the full blurb and a few spoiler-free reviews, and this book sounds absolutely incredible. It's quite a chunky one. Got about 550 pages, which is quite a lot. It is quite a hefty book. Looking briefly at them all in the box, I think this could be the longest book on the long list. Next is perhaps the one that I'm most excited about, and that is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. I actually do already own this book. Where is she? There. I got a copy for Christmas. So, you know me, love a bit of Greek mythology me. Very taken by this cover. Have been since I saw it on the shelf, seen it announced. I was like, yes, want that, please. This is a retelling. I say that, I'm like, am I right? I think so. This book is a fresh take on the Medusa story. I'm aware that the Greek mythology retelling space has been very populated in the last few years, but I was very excited to hear about this book. So obviously was very excited when this book came out and had to have it immediately. Even if I didn't read it immediately, I had to have it. But this, if anything, being on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list, has given me even more of a reason to read this book. I really enjoyed the retelling Jessie Burton did on Medusa. I thought that was incredible. And I know when I was younger, my perception of Medusa was completely different to what it is now. I have the highest expectations for this book. I'm already thinking that I'm going to love it and rate it 5 stars. It was one of the few that I actually, like I said, recognised and had interest in reading before the long list. Guys, I've just read the blurb for this. I've been distracted, I've been reading blurbs. This blurb has made me want to instantly just stop recording and read it. And I have seen this book a lot, and I have seen it talked about a lot. Give me this bit of this cover and I can tell you straight away, yes, The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. I'm really glad that this is on the long list, purely for the fact that I now own it. I'll read you this passage because this is what has been like, wow, for me. Lucrezia, Duchess of Ferrara, is taken on an unexpected visit to a country villa by her husband, Alfonso. As they sit down to dinner in the icy hall, it occurs to Lucrezia that Alfonso has a sinister purpose in bringing her here. He intends to kill her. I really want to read this, you know. And I'm going to say that to every book that I pick up, but this one, I really want to read this. So yes, The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. Very excited to see this one on her. Next up we have The Bandit Queens by Perini Schroff. Another gorgeous cover, definitely something that if I was walking around the bookshop would immediately catch my eye, make me pick up the book and read the blurb. So this book is set in India. It follows our protagonist Geeta. She's been living alone for the last 5 or so years because her husband has mysteriously disappeared. And the rumour is that she is her husband's killer. But she isn't in a hurry to dispel these rumours. As a single woman, they're actually keeping her safe. But when another woman from the village comes to Geeta asking how she might herself dispose of her abusive husband, the story is set in motion. Instantly sold. I'm going to be saying that about every book, but there is a reason that these have made the Women's Prize Fiction long list. To do exactly that. And it's working. The Bandit Queens. I love that name. Love it. So the next book is Cursed Bread by Sophie McIntosh. This book is actually based on a true story of a mass poisoning of a French village in 1951. She is a baker's wife, mainly ignored by her husband, and then one day a couple comes to town and she is instantly obsessed. But amongst that obsession, strange things in the town are starting to happen. When Elodie finds out how she is playing a role, it's far too late to put a stop to it. This is a very short book, so I feel like I could read this afternoon. I'm very intrigued by this. Cursed Bread by Sophie McIntosh. Next up we have Wandering Souls by Cecile Pinn. Again, I have seen this book a lot. My good friend Sam has posted a video sobbing to this book, so instantly scared. This book is about a family fleeing Vietnam after the American troops have left to get to Hong Kong. They split up, 2 siblings go and the rest of the family in a separate boat, but only one boat makes it to Hong Kong. I think I can already tell this book is going to break my heart, so instantly a bit wary. This is also another quite short read, so I think it's quite manageable. Might be able to just knock that out in a few days. I say, like I can read that fast anymore. Definitely one I had on my radar before it was announced on the long list, so I am very excited to read that. Next up is Glory. Glory? Why did it say like that? Next up is Glory by No Violet Bulawayo. This book is described as a post-colonial fable, and someone has even referred to her as out Orwelling Orwell. If I'm right in saying I think it's told through the voices of animals. I feel like I've been talking for hours and I'm still not even halfway through. Next up is The Dog of the North by Elizabeth Mackenzie. This isn't something I would necessarily pick up myself. It doesn't really feel like my kind of book. But like I said, I like surprises. I like pushing myself out of my comfort zone. This book follows Penny, whose marriage has failed. She just quit her job and her parents are missing in the Australian outback. I think this could be a nice read. I can imagine myself sat by a pool enjoying this one. I know I won't be bored reading this long list. I know there is something for everybody in this long list, and that's what makes it so exciting, and that's what makes Women's Prize the best. Next up is Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow. I am instantly taken by this book. I'm taken by the plot of this book. I'm taken by the cover of this book. I think this book may be in the top 3, maybe, of books I'm excited about on this long list, but that's very difficult to say because I'm excited about all of them. This book is about the strength of female connections, the bond that we have and passed down between mothers and daughters. It follows 3 generations of a Southern black family and is an ode to the city that they call home. Next, Fire Rush by Jacqueline Crooks. This book is a debut novel about love, loss, freedom and dub reggae, and an unforgettable portrait of black womanhood. I've actually been to a talk by Jacqueline and heard her read the opening passage of the book, and since then I have wanted to read this book so badly. I don't know why it's taking me so long. All the reviews I've seen pouring in for this book are positive, 5-star. I don't think I've seen anything negative written about it. I also know that this book is set across different locations, and one of those locations is in Bristol, and I went to uni in Bristol. I have a big love for Bristol as a city. So like I said, I'm very, very, very excited about this book. Next up we have Children of Paradise by Camilla Gradova. Again, another relatively short book that I feel is very manageable for me. I think I've developed quite a bad relationship with only reading short books because my attention span due to TikTok is appalling. This book follows Holly, who applies for a job at one of the city's oldest cinemas, the Paradise. Instantly, I'm excited because I too worked at a cinema. First, it's just like any other job. She's not really gelling with her colleagues. It's kind of just like mundane work that you would expect for a part-time job, until she gains the trust of the other colleagues and gets that behind the scene insight. I don't think it's something that I would necessarily pick up and think would be the most exciting thing to read about. Sometimes I love the mundanity of stories, like with normal people and conversations with friends. That is Children of Paradise by Camilla Gradova. Next we have Homesick by Jennifer Croft. The texture of this book is very unusual and I'm a bit obsessed with the production of it. I love the inside flaps are pink and I love the pink on black. I love how this looks like a chalkboard. Hooked instantly. It's so simplistic, but at the same time it's not. This book is a coming of age story centered around 2 siblings who are so close and share everything with each other. But the ideal is shattered by a family death and one of their sisters' mysterious illness. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think this book is going to make me cry. I don't know what about the cover might give that away, but I think it might. And there we have my camera flashing at me out of battery, so that's fantastic. Thanks very much, camera. Next we have Trespasses by Louise Kennedy. This book is set during the Troubles in Northern Ireland and essentially is about ordinary people trying their best to live and endure extraordinary times. All the quotes on the back of this book are saying how heartbreaking it was, how it broke their hearts into millions of pieces. So I am instantly terrified. There is only 3 more books left, and that brings me joy because I'm getting so fed up with the sound of my own voice. This is going to be an extremely painful video to edit. Next up is I'm a Fan by Sheena Patel. This book has an unnamed narrator who seemingly picks apart the behaviours of her relationship and has a really honest and critical eye on herself and everybody else's behaviour. It explores obsessive love, race, privilege, power. I seem to have read a lot of books recently with unnamed narrators. Honestly, I don't understand the hold they have over me. I'm truly obsessed. Next up is Pod by Lillian Paul, and please correct me if I'm not saying that right because I really don't think that I am. This book sounds extremely unusual. I think if I'm right by saying it's about dolphins. Wait, is this person a human or dolphin? I might have misunderstood this completely. Okay, my mind had followed the complete wrong path. This book is about the ocean, and Ia, the main character, is a dolphin who feels so outside her pod of dolphins because she suffers from a unique type of deafness. And when something happens that she knows she's partly to blame for, she leaves the safety of her pod. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever read a book from the perspective of an animal. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it. Last but not least is Black Butterflies by Priscilla Morris. This book follows the siege of Sarajevo through the lens of one woman's experience. Zora refuses to believe that the siege is going to last for more than a few weeks, so sends her husband and elderly mother to live in England with her daughter. But as the assault deepens, herself and her friends are forced to rebuild themselves. It is a story of resilience and is a story of hope. And with Black Butterflies, we have concluded the entire Women's Prize for Fiction 2023 long list. I just want to reiterate how incredibly lucky I feel to have been sent the entire long list by Women's Prize. So Women's Prize, if you're watching, thank you so much. I am so excited to read all of these incredible books, and I'm so excited to see who's going to make this shortlist at the end of April. I'm now going to try to pick up the entire long list. I may slip a disc and have to call the hospital, but I feel like this needs to be done. That is a lot of words. My camera's 2 seconds away from dying, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and leave a comment of the book that you're most excited to read, or just what you want to see in general on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you next week. Thank you, bye. Massive shout out to Women's Prize. Love you guys.